But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for game number 2 between Ancient Apparitions Anonymous versus Carrydas Remalded for the Clarity League Division 3 Grand Finals. And where it is just the best of 3, Carrydas are only one game away now from securing the victory and showing that they are the dominant force in Division 3. And especially if they do it a clean 2-0. But there is every chance that AAA could come back with a truly magnificent draft here and just completely boss Carrydas. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they might change their draft around a little bit and maybe try to address some problems that were appearing there in the Carrydas lineup. But instead, they're opening up with exactly the same bans. So, very fearful of this Visage ET combo. Don't want to give it the chance to actually show up. Meanwhile, Carrydas did change theirs a little bit. They got rid of the Bristle Bat, but banning out the Wraith King themselves rather than the Ancient Apparition. So if they pick up the Winter Wyvern now, it could just get counted out immediately by the AA, so maybe they might not bother. But the Clockwork first grab there for AAA yet again. It is their most picked hero for a reason. They love just to first take this guy.
10 seconds. 5 seconds remain.
But Carrydas really thinking about what they want to go for their first split. They're like, okay, do we take the Winter Wyvern? If we take the Winter Wyvern, AA will just get picked. Okay, so they just take the AA themselves. They're just putting it completely into the hands of AAA right now. Of like, you can take the Winter Wyvern if you want, but we've already got this counter set up there, so you can put yourself into an awkward position. Even works quite nicely against the Clockwork as well, because if he goes for a cog, he can get trapped in there himself, and then the cold feet on top of him will set up for a pretty easy stun, as long as if there's some sort of follow-up slow or stun from the rest of Carrydas to try and hold him in those cogs a little bit longer. But even some of their reserve time now for their second pick. They'll either grab their position 3 or their position 1 right now. Let's see what they're going to go for. Maybe they might just lead things up to go for the CK yet again. Okay, no, they're actually going to grab the Vengeful Spirit. So this is a hero you don't see too often nowadays, but there was an immediate snap pick there of the Spectre. One of those carries which loves to play up against an Ancient Apparition. Like, you just press your ultimate, you haunt, you're right on top of the AA, and you kill him in just a few hits, unless there's some significant save from the rest of Carrydas. I mean, there is the Vengeful Spirit there, so potentially, if the Spectre goes on the AA, the Venge could swap him back if the Venge isn't predisposed with, like, a different part of the fight. But even still, already this poor old AA is going to have a rough time. You just know it. We all hate playing up against a Spectre when you're an AA. Maybe so, pretty much identical bans yet again coming out here from AAA. They take away the Morphine, they take away the Ursa. I'm not going to mix up too much. They do actually decide to get rid of the CK this time around, making sure that that does not fall into the hands of Quack yet again. Which is probably a wise ban. Man did a lot of work in that previous game. Obviously, there was the support there from Danny as well, which really set up for quite a lot of those early kills. And especially with this Venge pickup, we'll see how they end up doing it. Is it going to be position 4 Venge? Or maybe even that core Venge, which some people do like to roll. You get the Aghanim Scepter, and you just build stats, and you're just immortal. You're just constantly running around the map, doing so much work. Right-clicks hurt like hell. You got a stun, you got a swap, you got an armor reduction capabilities as well. It can feel strong in a core role, in the right scenario. But we'll see what they're going to pick up here for their third hero. If it's a position 3, then it's pretty much guaranteed this is going to be a 4 Venge. Wait, some people like to play the Venge if it's core in the mid. But if it's a core Venge, it tends to be towards the off lane just a little bit more. I could be completely mistaken. And there could be a whole different idea here from Carrydas with this Venge pickup. They could be thinking this is a 1. For all I know. Who knows? Maybe Carrydas has been playing position 1 Venge. Question marks are abound, boys. You see, already thinking about what they want to pick up here for their third hero. Venge carry. Oh, you say you call him position 1 Venge, are you? We'll have to wait and see. Is this like guaranteed information, or is this like a hypothesis that you've been working on? We'll have to wait and see. But there is the Void Spirit pickup there from Carrydas. So pretty much a solid mid laner there. So definitely not going to be a position to venge.
5 seconds remain.
I mean, sometimes you can run the Void as a 4. I do like to play the Void Spirit myself as a position 4, so it could potentially be there to then just throw in AAA into like a full sense of security and try and draft around playing up against the mid Void and then get sidetracked completely. But the Void Warlock pickup there from AAA, very solid position 5. Also a good pairing there with the Spectre, gives him a huge amount of survivability in the lane, because obviously a Spectre isn't like an early aggressive hero anyway. Wants to play defensively, and the Warlock is one of those heroes that just really helps him do that. The Grimstray pick up there for Carrydas. So, okay. It is a cool Venge. It's definitely a cool Venge. So, this would be 5 Ancient Apparition, 4 on the Grimstroke, the mid Void Spirit, and position 3 Venge, or position 1 Venge, if Rampage and Venge is correct. I could have know. I had Carrydas stream open. Let's see which one to carry. We'll have to wait and see. But the DK pick up there from AAA. And this could either, obviously always used to be a mid lane hero. People have been playing it a lot on the off lane now, so potential for it to go in either one of those lanes right now. I mean, DK up against the Void Spirit, probably not too bad. The Dragon's Blood definitely going to allow you to just sustain in that lane so easily. Not really much that the Void Spirit's going to be able to do to pressure him out at the early parts. With these final bans, AAA actually banning out the Arc Warden. So if they ban out the Arc Warden, they think this isn't going to be a mid Void then. Maybe they also are leading towards this like weird core, like super core Venge. I mean, it's definitely a core Venge, right? It has to be a core Venge, unless a complete mindfuck switch around is the Grimstroke's actually the mid, the AA is the 5, the Void's the 4, and the Venge is the 3. I don't know, man. All these heroes could end up in a plethora of different roles right now. It's super confusing to try and sort of figure out where everyone is guaranteed going to end up. But even still, Carrydas are lacking a tanky person. Anyone. They need someone to actually soak up some damage in the front lines, because so far they're all pretty damn squishy. The Venge can be after quite a while when you build up a lot of stats, but it takes quite a while to actually get to that point. Carrydas is purely banning out all the offlaners, so they are thinking this is going to be a mid DK then. And we'll see what AAA are going to pick up here. Not really touch their reserve time whatsoever. They've used 8 seconds of it. So they have a huge amount of time to work with right now to really cherry pick the correct hero to go with right now. Yeah, I mean, the DK in the mid definitely makes sense to play up against the Void Spirit, but I mean, if you're banning out, you banned out the Viper, you banned out the Arc Warden, so maybe they're thinking this isn't a Void Spirit mid. Maybe they're thinking this is like a 3 Void. Maybe the Venge might be in the mid, in the hands of Grim. But I'm not too sure either way. They've got a decent amount of team fight with the Warlock drop and the Spectral Haunt as well. But then I think they need someone to just sort of carry the early to mid game areas, because so far it's just really the DK. I mean, sure, the DK can like slow push towers and that and just try and close out the map a little bit, but you still need one other core to really keep in junction with that DK and just carry on making space with the Defector to build up her own farm. And if it's the offlane role, you want someone to come online pretty decent timing. They could maybe go for something like a Tide Hunter, perhaps. Obviously, it's not like they give him a huge amount of tanky frontline, give him a vast amount of team fight as well. But AAA have been using pretty much all of their reserve prime right now. Only down to 24 seconds now. So maybe they're just a little bit unsure themselves about what the actual lineup of Carrydas is doing. And they're like, what do we take? What do we take? And they have secured... They're going for the LC yet again. So that's going to be back into the hands of Ryoka. So going to be that mid DK, pretty standard. Ryoka on the 3 LC. With Throm Plunder taking the Spectre. Ketchup on the Clockwork yet again. And
10 seconds.
Shit, what was the actual position 5? So obviously Lego Titan isn't actually his in-game name. Adoro! That was it. Yeah, that's it. Adoro. See, I know, boys. I know. No question. But it was actually the Doom there. It's a final pickup from Carrydas. So that is going to be their mid laner then in the hands of... Yeah. Okay, so Mish taking the Doom in the mid. Quack with the position 3 Void. And it is that POS 1 Vengeful Spirit. Rampaging bench. You know, man. How did you know? He just knew. He's got that 6th sense. He should have placed a wager. Should have actually put some money down on that. That's a good call. So we'll see what this position 1 Venge is going to be able to do. Obviously, once you get that Axe online, you're pretty much immortal, because even when you're the illusion, you still get gold and experience. Really goddamn broken, especially still being able to use items as well as skills. And then you just build to be like this pure menacing right click. And then you've also got the Doom that's like your tanky frontliners, just try and close one person out the fight. If they get like the Doom onto the Spectre, it's quite nice. Or even if you like... I'm not sure what is like the actual primary Doom target here for Carrydas. Is it the Spectre? Not too sure actually. Maybe all of them are pretty decent targets to Doom up. Doesn't have to be too cautious about which one he goes for in the end. All going to do work. But it's a very high tempo draft here from Carrydas anyway. So we'll see what it's able to do. I think if their lanes go poorly, this draft may just come back to bite them in the arse. But we'll have to wait and see how that's actually going to pan out. But even still, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the second game, of Ancient Apparition Anonymous versus Carrydas Remalded, who are one game ahead, one game away from taking this best of 3 series, claiming themselves as the grand final winners. So AAA are going to be trying their hardest to at least take this to a 3rd game, and not just get cleaned out in a very quick 2-0. Because that first game wasn't even that long. I think it was just about half an hour or something. So pretty speedy. But it doesn't look like either squad is going to try and go for any first blood attempt yet again. Everyone's positioned themselves very defensively across the river. But Throm Plunder, he's going to need to have a better start than he had in that game number 1. He got just so easily zoned out from Quack and Danny that you couldn't really get much on the board. But obviously a Void Spirit Grimstroke combo, not quite going to be able to harass you out as much. I mean, it can be still quite devastating. You get the ETH Remnant connection into the Inkswell with the Silence on top, and then the Resonant Pulse. It's a fair amount of burst damage. Obviously, they do have the sustain of having the position 5 Warlock, but is that going to be enough? That is the thing.
It's time now.
But it does just end up being 2 for 2. Just no one really fights for bounties anymore. It used to be, like, when bounties first came out, it was just everyone fought for these minute 0 bounties, but no one does. It's like, unless you're really desperate to go for like, some sort of first blood move, like you wrap around, nobody touches it. Would have won money on Venge and England bet. We'll see how this mid lane matchup ends up going. Tanky Boy versus Tanky Boy. We'll see who ends up coming out on top. Getting 0 bonus regen. Does it not give any regen at all anymore? Special abilities that possess, all costs deactivated. So what? So if it's not including the skill, why does it have to specifically say on the Devour status thing that it says, and gaining 0 bonus regeneration? Is there a time when it does give regen? Is it a talent? Devour target actions? No, it's not. I don't know. Maybe that's just like a thing they forgot to take out for when Devour did actually give you regen. Who knows?
Try harder.
Maybe still just a very slight lead for Mash so far. Just 2 last hits over the top of Blasphemy. And they're very similarly matched in terms of actual right-click damage. 67 to the 65, both with a Quelling Blade. And I think Blasphemy's just got a slight advantage, like his attack animation is just that very small bit faster than the Dooms. Not really that noticeable, though. So we probably will just see like a very, very even split between these two in this mid lane. But we'll have to see how this position 1 Vengeful Spirit in the hands of Carrydas actually ends up panning out. Already got 1 Brave Band online. We'll see how fast he's going to try and get this Aghanim Scepter. If he's going to go for like the pure rush and like get his boots and then go straight for the Ags. Or maybe he might just try and spread out a little bit. Maybe get like a Yasha into like a Manta perhaps. Just to try and purge off the Fatal Bonds. Oh, Matrix Wolf. He sort of stuck. Yes, catch up. He wants to try to kill the tree, but he wasn't doing it in time. Ends up just taking a shitload of damage in return. That was like a full duration battery soul onto the poor AA. Hell of a lot of damage at this early point in the game.
Did you think it was yours?
Oh, down to the bot lane. Already the CS definitely in the favour of Quack. 12-3 to the 7-1 of the Thron Plunder right now. Here we go with the pullback with the Remnant and the Inkspell on top. Is going to be enough damage, but the heals there from the Shadow Word gives Thron Plunder so much survivability that he just really shrugs it off. Avery's going to get healed up by a salve as well. So we'll come back up to full HP. May take a lot of damage in return. Meanwhile, though, yes, Ketchup actually able to get the first blood onto Matrix Wolf completely solo as well. So immediately just finished buying out of Tranquil Boots as well as a plethora of like mana regeneration. And Carrydas got to be careful. Yes, Ketchup. He has enough mana just now for some cogs. He's going to be able to get in range. Actually, just going to go for the battery assault with the mango, and he will just end up going down there. 2 kills for Yes Ketchup in this top lane.
Nice
Already going
mustache.
pretty damn nicely for him. Still in the mid. Very, very evenly matched. 19-0 to the 16-2 of Blasphemy. Obviously, net worth, just as a like 200 gold in the lead there for Mash, but that is purely just from Devour. The added benefit of having this skill, always going to keep you ahead of the gold game. Ooh, they're going to make a move here onto the Remalded yet again. The pullback with the Remnant into the Inkswell, but still, the Remalded is so goddamn tanky. The Shadow Word, it's so much healing, especially now it's in level 2. That this aggression here from Carrydas is just not enough. And it ends up consuming so much mana as well from both of these two heroes that it's a very hard sort of aggression to actually keep sustained. So they run out of fuel in their tank very, very quickly. And Thron Plunder's just happily able just to carry on farming up. I mean, he's not doing too hot an actual CS. How the hell has Danny got so much CS? He's in position 4. He's 11-1. So just taking a bit of the farm, but I suppose it's making sure that no denies are coming out here from Thron Plunder at least, keeping the XP flowing. Ooh, need more up top. Matrix Wolf, he's got quite cogs into the battery, so does kill the cog, but it's not going to help him whatsoever. 3 kills now there for Ketchup. So a swimming start there for him. Well, Mash, now he's level 6. He has Doom online. Obviously, you can't just chuck a Doom on a DK because he will just survive. He'll just walk back to his tower and he won't really care. But with his own 6 online here, he might just try and start a pop of this and dealing some damage onto the enemy tower. Mash actually taking the Chain Lightning. It's not a bad skill to have, but obviously it's very mana intensive. And then immediately, Blasphemy is actually going to pop the Dragon Ball here. Going to start applying some pressure to Mash. He's going to go for the TP out. He will be able to make it, but he has to TP all the way back to base. So he's going to be out of this lane for a very long time. Oh, another pullback here onto Thron Plunder, but Inkswell, they didn't actually even bother committing. They just didn't want to waste their mana anymore. We're thinking we're not going to get the kill. No point. Just let him walk away. But we're just that one move there for Blasphemy. So much space made in this mid lane. He's not even attacking the mid tier 1 tower though. which is quite odd. Normally, if you've got this Dragon form, you just hit it, you fall back, wait for the debuff to run out, you go back, hit it again, go back to the lane, just to make sure that there's constant damage flowing onto that tower. And another kill here for AAA at the top lane. Carrydas dropping down yet again. This time, Ryoko actually finally able to get a kill rather than Ketchup soaking it all up. A lot of damage hit in return there onto Ryoko, but not enough for him to really worry about. What's the score? It's 1-0 to Carrydas. We've got a TP actually for Carrydas here down to the bot lane, but Batfim is also rotated himself with this haste route. Ends up running straight into the Vengeful Spirit. Going to carry on trying to make a move here onto the Void Spirit. They're doing a lot of damage onto Adora. Are they able to find this kill? Another Phantom's Embrace and the damage there from Quack. They do take down the Warlock. And Danny's going to try and go for the TP out. They're going to focus on the more high priority kill of Quack. The haste has actually run out now. It doesn't matter. The Brief Fire, level 3 is enough damage to finish him off. So they will take him down. And now Carrydas has to just try and recover his game a little bit in this bot lane. I mean, he's not been doing too badly in CS. He's still, like, quite high up there. But even still, just the constant aggression coming out from Ryoko and Yes Ketchup, securing another kill, just makes this lane a living hell for anybody who comes in here. So I'm going to guess that, yeah, the Quack will come up here himself. And he should be able to survive it a little bit easier. Obviously, the cogs, a little bit easier for him to deal with to dissimulate. You can escape from it with very easy. Meanwhile, Mash went straight up for that hand of Midas Rush. Like, no boots, no nothing. Just get his bottle, straight up for the hand of Midas. Wants to try and get his lead up as fast as he can. But even still, I think Carrydas figuring out that even this lane's not that easy to farm up. Just keeps on getting pushed back. I think it's kind of difficult for them to make any moves with this early Doom. Well, actually, they try and make a move here onto Ketchup underneath the tier 1 tower. The Phantom Embrace comes out, but it's just so goddamn hard to get in these kills. Not much damage really coming out of an early Void Spirit or a Grimstroke. And the position 4, is allowed just to walk off himself. Now Ryoko coming up here. He does have the jewel, but make sure he avoids the Inkswell before. Ether Remnant not going to be able to connect his Ryoko ducks behind it. And he decides to not bother keeping chase. And he just goes back to hitting onto the creeps. Batsumi did actually make a move up here himself, but not able to get the connection to anyone. Because nobody steps out of bounds.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Thromblunder having a much better game than he had in that game number 1. Even with an assist on board, not died a single time. And 4th in CS as well. Not doing too bad in actual net worth, keeping pace with a lot of the other cores. Despite the fact that Carrydas has been bullied so goddamn hard in that top lane. He's not doing too badly himself. But here's comes the first rotation from Mash. Doom gets dropped on Ryoko, and they take down the LC. Even Matrix also rotating up here himself. Quite a lot of rotations there from Carrydas just to get those couple of kills. That is going to give a little bit of space for Batsimi to do some damage onto this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Just completely left on his own. And they're going to start making a beeline back to this lane as fast as they can to give it some sort of protection. Even the glyph. Give it a little bit of longevity. But even still down the bot lane, Carrydas getting gone. But immediately the TP out, realizing there's not a single disable on either of these two heroes. Maybe if Fedora was his 6, he could have just dropped the rock, but no such luck for him. Batsfame also able to get the bottle double damage. And halfway towards his Blink Dagger as well. And then it's going to be really easy for him to initiate onto the back lines of Carrydas and find those super squishy supports. Which would just be free food for him. This first Dragon Form, or maybe a second Dragon Form, about to run out here. Going to get a couple of final more hits onto the tier 1. You're actually going to stick around to do some melee hits as well. It seems though it does have this double damage. They are just going to carry on charging down to push him away. Even the cold feet gets used. And not much more else they could do. Carrydas still working on towards the Dragon Lance as his first main item. A few stacks being made from Danny just onto the Ancients. as well as the small camp. Which is going to allow Carrydas to try and recover a little bit, but Vengeful Spirit isn't exactly known for her creep-killing capabilities. It's a very slow siege. Sure, the Wave of Terror reducing the armor and doing a little bit of AoE damage, but even still, you can see how slow this ends up being.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, with the help of the catapult, it looks like Ryoka and Ketchup are going to try and pressure this tier 1 tower and take it down. And with the rocket flare scouting into the trees, not a single person on the side of Carrydas will risk their life to try and defend it. Instead, they're actually going to make the move onto Blasphemy in the mid lane. A lot of heroes rotating around here. They can try and control him up. Quack gets pretty low, but not low enough. Mash ends up finding the kill. They're killing the DK, but I mean, the damage is already done. He took down the tier 1 tower before losing his life. They are pinging out to try and do some damage themselves onto the opposing tier 1. But none of these heroes are really effective at hitting towers whatsoever, and they don't have a catapult. And a lot of rotations coming in here. Ketchup, he actually gets the hook connection there onto the Void Spirit. Doesn't set far enough to get the cog connection, but even still, Ryoka just blows him up there with the overwhelming odds. Matrix is going to try and get ran down here with the Fatal Bond to actually get a connection as well as the rock drop. The Ink Spell makes a little bit of space, but it's not going to be enough. One final right click there from Thorn Thunder takes him down as well. 3 deaths on the side of Carrydas. And AAA not losing anything in return. Just capitalizing that over-aggression there from Carrydas. Thinking that they can try and do some damage there with the DK down, but... well, just shows what happens when you get over-aggressive. End up just feeding away some kills. That's actually even putting himself down to the bot lane as well. He's got the bots queued up as his next item. With the Blink Dagger online. So at least with this Blink, he's going to be able to jump on to anyone in the back lines to get those Dooms off. Or just Doom anyone he actually chooses. I'm not really sure who the correct Doom target is. Obviously, there is the Spectre to try and lock her down to get that kill if you can find her. But if she's already got like the Spectral Haunt off, then Doom and her is going to do absolutely nothing. So it all just depends on who they find in the initiation. Looks like they're going to try and go for the jump kill here onto Danny. The initiation from Batsumi allows Ryoka to get close enough to go for the duel. Third one on the board there for Ryoka. God, there's a fleet of couriers. I just saw on the minimap. I thought Thron Plunder was on the other squad there, and that could have been so much free money. So it looks like ready there to mash. We'll be able to find this tier 1 tower. AAA, they don't really need it anymore. So they will just let it fall. And it is actually a Manta, I think, yeah. Ready, he's got his Dragon Lance finished now. So we'll see what he's going to queue up. Is he now going to go straight up for the Aghanim Scepter? Or is he going to try and build up another stat item first? I guess you just sort of have to go straight for the Ags now. It's like the main point of why this hero can work as a core, just giving him that immortal effect. Even still, Danny, he's just getting cool out here. The jump force there from Batsfimi. There is going to be a holdback there with the Ether Remnant, but he turns around to try and hold him back. He ends up just dying either way. I think he did blink out the fact there is this high ground ward, so that will probably be getting dewarded pretty soon. But AAA do not want to give up this territory that they have managed to claim off the hands of Carrydas, holding their own jungle away from them. They will spot mash. Ryoka's just charging forwards, wants to try and get the grab. Nice Remnant, gets the connection, but not before he gets the duel. Going to hold Mash back. The Ancient Apparition Ultimate comes in, but it's too late to do any sort of work. Mash still ends up dropping. No dual victory for Ryoka, but it doesn't matter. Finding the Doom kill either way is 100% a big victory. 12-4 for AAA at the moment. Still not exactly like a big gold lead, less than 1k. So they are winning, but not by a huge margin. But actually, I suppose all the cores are like Head of the Venge and the Void Spirit. It's just the Doom that's sat at the top, and that's because the greedy man has Devour and the Hand of Midas. Just money's just gonna fly into his pockets so goddamn quick. Not quite as quick as the Arc Warden game. Or is it? Well, early on, Doom can farm faster than the Arc Warden, clearly. But I say probably after like that 20-minute mark, then the Arc Warden has a much superior farmer speed in comparison to Doom. A press attack used onto the catapult as well, just to help push down that tower. Even actually going to use the defensive glyph to try and keep it alive, but It will still end up getting taken down. Actually, Quack's going to go for the re-engagement. He actually gets a connection there onto drop. Ryoka pulls him back. And he ends up dying. And now everyone's on AAA. Needs to get the hell out of there. Batswing turns around with the Dragon Tail stun. But now in comes the Soul Bind. Holds them both in. The double sides there. The Cog's actually making a nice amount of space. Allowing them to try and disengage. Quack knows keeping chase. And with the Ink Spell on top of it, connects onto both of them. Now the Phantom to break the ultimate from the Spectre. He wants to try and get involved. Focus on the supports in the back lines. Will get the kill onto Danny. But now he's on his own. He's got to be careful. They're all dropping pretty low. The Ancient Apparition will also drop down. But Remalded able to disengage pretty easily. Done the work he needed to do. But Doro's still showing himself. And Quack and Mash, they're on top of him. Poor old Warlock. Even just goes AFK. Oh no. Drops the Shadow Word. Even still, both teams take quite a few losses there. But I think in the end, Carrydas are happy with how that went. They all came out top. Actually, Quack! He ends up hanging around a little bit too long. And it allows Ryoka to respawn, come up and get an easy duel victory there. I don't think he was expecting anybody to still be around. Easiest kill of their life. Mash? Actually... Oh, he ends up just ticking down to the dot damage there from the DK. Not very often you see a DK being able to just solo kill a Doom. Maybe he was just still wounded up from that top lane engagement. Meanwhile though, Carrydas, he actually went for the Mask of Madness as his next item. Now surely he's going to queue up the Ags. Surely. He's TP'd up to the top to maybe try and get a grab onto Ryoka here. Oh, the hook shot. They found Danny hiding up into the trees. Tries to get the Ink Swell, but it's not going to be fast enough. And they will both to disengage. Actually, no, Batswimi immediately jumps on in there, going for the connection onto Matrix Wolf. All the other damage to bring him down. The jump forwards there from Quack, trying to make some space. This AA is getting so down low, but the overwhelming odds finds him. Batswimi does pay for his life in return, and the duel comes out, but it ends up just being a complete mistake. Ryoka dies instead. Carrydas gets the kill, and even Ketchup gets caught. Nice remnant yet again. 3 more kills there for Carrydas, taking down cores, and once again, only really losing supports. So all these 5-on-5 engagements. Sure, it feels like they're lacking in power a little bit, but still coming out on top. And that's the first time that Carrydas actually gets involved with the rest of the squad. And it just showed how much damage he was able to pump out. Who was the duel actually on? Wait, did he get the duel onto the... Oh, no, okay, no. Ryoka did get the duel onto Matrix Wolf. I thought he died during that duel, but never mind. He actually got the damage off still, I believe. Unless... Yeah, he did. Just have to check everyone damage. I'm sure nobody's got a little bonus. Oh, Ryoka. Want to go for the grab, but Quack. Just too big on those reactions. He was out of there. Got a whiff of the LC TPing him. I was like, hell no. I ain't falling for this trap. But even still, I think AAA are happy with the pace of how this game's going, because Remalded is doing alright. He's happily farming along. He's keeping pace with the other cores. He's not really been pressured too much, not died a single time, so he's still able to just carry on farming away whilst also getting involved with the Spectral Haunt whenever he can. But maybe Mash might want to go for a jump there, but decided against it. But AAA are always doing this buddy system, which is really nice. You know, make sure nobody ever goes on their own. Able to give each other safety. The hook shot, unfortunately, they're missing the catch-up. Still, I mean, the buddy system, that was a Counter-Strike thing, right? Buddy system. I believe so. But even still, transfuse into Dota as well. Just an effective tool for any sort of team game. And now immediately, Ryoka's trying to damage into this tier 2 tower, but Carrydas is here with the swap into the stun of the backlines. He actually pulls him away from the inside bridge, but not going to get the connection, and the duel's immediately there. Adora will end up dying. No, Carrydas, sorry, ends up dying. Immediately re-enjoyed it here from Quack. Once again, a return kill to Ryoka. He's still alive. He's going to actually manage to get away from this. He can't quite get fast enough there for Quack to get the kill. It looks like Ketchup's in an awkward position though. He might end up dying for this. They actually know the re-engagement yet again from Batsumi gets the stun to Danny. The Doom is there, but even still, it's onto the DK. That's not really the best target. He's just going to be able to tank himself through this. Quack tries to get the grab, not going to be able to find it. Matrix ends up dying as well. Even Mash gets caught out there from the clockwork, and now Quack left all alone. He dies as well. A full team wipe coming out from AAA, not losing anybody, and it was right outside the tier 3 with a catapult. And no glyph available. Actually, no, the glyph's about to come up. Never mind. We're actually going to force a buyback here onto Quack. We'll see how much damage they're going to be able to do onto this tier 3 before they push him away. The Ancient Expedition is also about to spawn, so it's going to be a 4 and 5. Blasphemy has to jump in immediately on the back line with the duel there from Ryoko, but the swap defensively is going to go out. As well as the Expedition Ultimate, it's going to be fantastic. It connects onto 3 people. Absolute disaster for AAA. The over-aggression. They get wiped in response. Team wipe to team wipe. What the hell? That was not the way Ancient Apparition Anonymous wanted that to go down whatsoever. They thought they could get the easy grab there, but that fantastic Ice Blast from Matrix Wolf connected onto 3 just rips everyone on the side of AAA to shreds. That was quite crazy. I thought they would just go back after like the buybacks, but they just wanted more. They wanted more, and that's what happens when you want more. You end up paying for that very dearly. So a nice little counterplay there from Carrydas just to keep the game going. Completely flip it all on its head. And Carrydas after that is super close to having his Aghanim Scepter online now. Only 500 gold away. And then we're going to start to see this super annoying Vengeful Spirit. Really a 5-man smoke here from AAA. Well, 4-man, leaving the Spectre out. Doesn't have hold for another 25 seconds, but even still, they're on the hunt for somebody. They're going to make a move into the Dire jungle. They get the spot there onto Danny. It's just the ball Grimshaw. And actually, they're going to find the much more high value there onto Carrydas with the duel on top of him. It's going to be enough. They get the kill. And even the overwhelming odds gets the kill to Danny as well. Double for Ryoka. And it looks like they're going to try and transition this into a Roshan take as well. See how fast they're able to do this, but they should be able to take this down without being contested whatsoever. No buyback on the venture number 35. But it looks like Mash and Quack. They see through and plunder far with this creep wave. They try to make a move to Doom immediately on top of him with the ultimate there. Gets dropped as well as Quack getting involved. The Remnant actually ends up missing. But even still, Thornblood's getting chased down with Dagon in the hands of Quack. Not an item you see very often in the hands of a Void Spirit, but with the help of the Veil of Discord, reduces the magic resistance. And wait, what? Okay, so it looks like AAA didn't even bother finishing the Roche. A little bit interesting. Maybe they thought that the Aegis wouldn't really be much use in anybody's hands, so they didn't bother. I feel like they could have taken it, especially seeing as how the Doom and the Void Spirit was at the bot lane. Well, that's just another victory then for Carrydas. But now 80 gold. And the Aghanim Scepter is going to be online for Carrydas. You can see just everyone on the side of AAA. Still positioned quite aggressively in the Dire Triangle. Just absorbing all that farm. Taking out the hands of Carrydas where they can. Maybe I should start calling them Remalded rather than Carrydas. Because obviously it's confusing where they actually got Carrydas in there as well. But Batsumi goes with initiation there onto the Matrix Wolf as well as the S-Ketchup jumping in. They get the kill and take the position, but still the Soul Bite comes out, connecting the two of them together with a potential re-engagement here. The Clockwork takes so much damage. It actually rejoins onto Adora in the backline. The Rock did get dropped as well as the Spectral Horn. He's going to focus onto Carrydas, but he has his Aghanim Scepter now. He doesn't even care if he gets focused. Now they're going to turn around. The Throne Ponder gets ripped to shreds. Batsumi left all on his own. He's going to end up dropping here. The overwhelming odds gets the kill, but even still, Carrydas! Your illusion! Use it! What? Carrydas! What are you doing? What are you doing? He's not using it. Is he DC'd? Now he starts using it. A little bit late, really, to get much use out of it. He's going to turn around. It might just end up dying here to Ryoko. I like how I like immediately started pinging it. It was at my pubs. He's going to try and go for a little cheeky play there onto Dora, but he was still not able to find it. Ryoko. I want to try and get the finish onto the illusion. We can't even take that down. I mean, it's sort of... I'm not quite sure which team came out on top there. I think that was a buyback on Yes Ketchup. So I suppose economically wise, it was probably just slightly in the favour of Remalded. Still, I wonder what happened. I wonder if Carrydas just forgot about the Aghanim Scepter bonus, or... I don't know, maybe like is mouse disconnected? I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe we'll find out later. Ooh. copy what I was saying, Matrix. Sketchy. But even still, Front Runner now working up towards the Carrydas, his next item. I mean, it will definitely help him being able to tank up a little bit more, because we saw as soon as everybody was on top of him by that tier 2 tower, he just evaporated. Like, there was just so much damage coming through that just too much for him to deal with at that precise moment. But still only a 1k gold lead. This game is just so goddamn even between these two teams right now. Mash even has this Radiance online, working on towards a BKB. So the Radiance definitely effective against the Spectral Haunt, given that mischance. Is that like some super way of stacking the Ancients? TP away with the Radiance? Nearly. Nearly did it. But BKB also now on the hands of Batsfemi. So every time he jumps into Initiate now, there's not going to be some like immediate counterplay of a Remnant or a Silence into follow-up stuns. He should be able to stand his ground just a little bit easier. And Orchid Malevolence on Ketchup. Again, that's a very interesting item to see on a position 4 Clockwork. I suppose it's pretty good for getting on top of the Void Spirit, because there's no Purge for Quack right now. Normally a Void would just naturally build into like a Yule Scepter or something, you'd be able to deal with that. But at the moment, if he gets caught out by Hook into an Orchid, he will just get taken down super, super quick. He is building into a Lincoln Sphere, which give him a little bit of protection, but even still. And actually, the jump for left Mash, maybe the stun! He connects onto the creep instead, but it doesn't matter. Ruka's there with the jewel, connects onto Mash, takes him down for anything can happen. Yes, Ketchup also taking out Matrix, and the rock getting dropped, connects onto 2 as well. Danny, he will end up falling. Ready, that's the Quack, just needs to get the hell out of there. This Simulate actually gets him up to the high ground. He's going to try and carry on running away. The dagger, not quite getting the connection there, but they're all just carrying on jumping up forwards. They want to get the kill onto this Vengeful Spirit. The Remnant's going to make a little bit of space, but is it going to be enough? They probably still end up getting the kill onto Carrydas. They have got the illusion though. He's going to turn it around with the stun into the swap. It's a lot of damage. It's not going to be enough. And again, this fight victory right outside of me base. They can try and push tier 3. And actually, Batsfemi, he's found the connection to Quack as well. The Remnant's going to make a little bit of space. It's going to be enough though. A couple more right clicks, all they're going to need. The Assimilate's there. It allows him to get himself out and disengage. Will he tick down to the dot actually? No, he won't. He will survive. You know, the rest of the team just plowing into the buildings. Tier 3 gone. And the full set barracks about to fall as well. The Ancient Apparition, the old Ice Blast connects onto Ryoka. They're not going to be enough to get the kill, especially with the press of the attack there. But even still, a victory for AAA. Take down a full set of barracks as well as getting like 4 kills. Or 3 kills. No, it's 4 kills. They obviously got the kill onto Carrydas as well. So it's like the first real big gold XP swing we've seen in a while without any sort of immediate punishment. Looks like still AAA, not quite sure if they want to go into the Roche bit. They will actually decide against it, especially seeing as our Thron's actually already gone down to the bot lane. He's closing in towards the Skadi though. Only 1200 gold. So a couple bit more farm. He'll definitely have on the next team fight. Gets Ketchup though. He's found the grab there onto Danny. Carrydas there. Try and make a little bit of space, but he gets jeweled up by Ryoka instead. Is it enough damage to get the dual victory win? Is it going to be up? No, it's not. He will manage to disengage. He will still take tons of damage. He still ends up dying, even with swapping his support into danger. 3 deaths real quick. They keep a chase. The Doom even coming out from Mash. They want to just make sure they get the kill onto Ryoka at least. And they will find it. Oh, Adora. He was going to go for the TP out. Is the stun going to be there in time? No, it's not. The cooldown just too damn long for Carrydas to get that +1. But it feels like Carrydas just needs some extra bit of damage or anything. His items haven't really progressed for quite a while right now. And he is starting to trail behind. He has the Shadow Blade queued up as his next item. We'll see what that ends up doing. Obviously, it's not going to be a huge amount of detection in the hands of AAA because they wouldn't really be sure this item's coming out. So it might end up being quite a nice pickup. But even still, Carrydas, even though he's not even alive, ends up finding the tier 1 tower. So nobody decided AAA bothering to try and push that back out. Batsfemi super close to having his Ags up as well. 280 gold. It's only a couple of creep camps. And then we'll have that big black dragon. Bit of BBD. Lincoln Sphere. Oh, it's queued up for Adora as well. Maybe he's just going to purely pick up this item just to be able to chuck it onto Thron Plunder. Just give him that extra bit of protection. But he has got enough money now as well to finish up his Skadi. And the rest of the squad going for a smoke play. Horn also online for Thron, so we can rejoin these guys whenever he want. They're actually just going to carry on heading on down towards the bot lane. I think they saw Danny and Carrydas farming up. I said Carrydas is actually going to run straight into Ryoka. They're actually going to turn this round and meet up with the sun, but the hook is coming out there from the clockwise, trying to make a little space. Both on the Carrydas, the rock as well, on top of Ryoka. Still too much damage, finds skill into the Doom. Carrydas also melting away so damn quick. This illusion stuck in it. Nobody's really bothering about it though. No one's focusing up. Carrydas tries to do some damage onto Ryoka, but it's not enough, and they still end up killing the illusion as well. So really starts feeling that Carrydas is starting to fall behind right now. 3k gold lead, now beat up for AAA. Beating into this tier 2 in the mid lane. And very long respawn times as well. A whole minute without the Venge. No chance of a buyback. We'll see if Mash is going to be forced to buy back or not. Even if he does buy back, I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do to really help his team out that much. Ice Blast just correct on the Thron. And actually, the jump forward is there from Quack. Just to try and make a little bit of space and push him off this building. And immediately, they're just straight back on to beat into it. And actually, the jump forward there for Ryoka. God damn, the right clicks! There was nearly just a 3 hit. Man's hitting for like 400 damage. Absolutely ridiculous. Nice stun there. Connects onto 4 people. But immediately, the silence comes out there onto Quack. He's held in place. This Orchid from Ketchup. Absolutely fantastic. Because there's still just no purge mechanic there for the Void. I mean, he does have the Lincolns, but if that's popped by something else, it's going to give you no protection whatsoever. And now the actual main barracks are getting beaten into. The melee will go. And the range quickly falls behind it. Actually, the re-engagement here, they go the double doom with the double silence. The buyback onto the HF Bridge as well. The Vengeful Spirit now respawns as well. They're both held up with the Ice Blast. With it connects, they take down Batsfimi. Everybody else is in full retreat. There is going to be the cogs to make a little bit of space. Ketchup just hiding himself into it. But it's not going to be enough. And he still ends up dropping. So it ends up being a couple of kills there for Carrydas in return. It does cost them a buyback onto the Ancient Apparition. Maybe still was a victory nonetheless. And now they're going to move themselves into the Roche Pit. It's actually a lot of damn damage. So this isn't going to take too long whatsoever. Ryoka is actually in the vicinity. Ryoka just gets a free D-ward as well, so it just gets placed right in front of his face. So actually they're going to jump forward with the duel straight up onto the Vengeful Spirit. There's no sort of help. The BKB stops anyone from being able to give any sort of assistance. Still ends up dropping down, but even still, the return kill does come out there from Carrydas. Despite the fact that he gave away the duel victory, still managed to do a lot of damage. Now the illusion is going to get targeted by Blasphemy, but the Inkspell's going to be there to hold him back for now. He's still just doing some right clicks rather than disengage him. I mean, it's just your illusion, but even still, you want to keep this alive as long as you possibly can. Huge part of the hero. Carrydas is still charging in though. He wants to try and do some damage. Actually going to find Adora. Which is a really nice target. It's going to force them all to re-engage to kill this illusion. They will find it. The Soul Bite comes out, but not really going to do anything whatsoever. Especially seems like the Doom was on cooldown for another 50 seconds. I feel like Carrydas sort of threw away his illusion for no reason there. Now, quarter duration left of this Black Dragon form. They're going to move into the pit, which Carrydas very kindly wounded for them, down to half HP. They will scout this take there with the Ice Blast. Yeah, and that alone is actually enough to make them sort of change their minds a little bit. Just throwing Plundos in the pit at the moment. They will actually all just disengage yet again. It's a little bit too scared, I guess, of the re-engagement capabilities of Carrydas. Just a little bit fearful of the double Doom, I guess. But I mean, Soulbind's still off cooldown for another 25 seconds. Doom up is up pretty soon. And it feels like Mash is like the main thing that's keeping Carrydas somewhat in this game a little bit. I mean, it's not really just for his net worth. He's got a fair chunk of items. But even still, it just feels like there's so much goddamn damage coming out on the side of AAA. It's hard to deal with. 220 damage there from Ryoka. But this Roshan just disappears so damn quickly. And Aegis on the floor. They will actually give it to Batsfimi. The hook shot actually ends up getting blocked there, so they're not going to get the quick engagement. Immediately, Ryoka doesn't care. He's trying towards the sun. Actually gets the connection even still with the Soulbind. They're going to turn this around with a double doom into the silence. They're going to focus onto the DKs, completely separated. A lot of damn damage coming out from this Vengeful Spirit, but it doesn't matter. He does have the Aegis, so he will be coming up pretty soon. Ryoka gets pretty low as well. The rock though gets dropped. Just trying to hold back Quack. We'll just try and find the LC. They take him down. Carrydas got pretty low, but even still doesn't end up dropping. Runs straight in towards Thrum Plunder though, but even still the illusion's here. But no one else in the rest of his team wants to try and find the carry-on kill onto the Spectre. Instead, Quack's actually focusing onto the DK on his own, completely separated from the rest of his team rather than, you know, joining back up with everybody. So it ends up being like a 3 for 3. Fight recap doing absolutely nothing for me. So nothing really gained too badly. I think without the Aegis, that would have been a fantastic fight there from Carrydas. I think it was just that stun like reactions there onto the LC. Because if Ryoka got that jump and the duel onto the Vengeful Spirit yet again, that whole situation would have gone completely differently. Also 2.8k in the pockets here of Carrydas, and he's still yet to queue anything up. Maybe he might just go for like a Skadi, just to give him a little bit of increased survivability as well as having a bonus damage output.
Speed and
not quite sure. But even still, Thrum Plunder, 5,000 gold in his pocket. He does have the Aegis queued out. Aghanim Scepter, sorry. As well as now also having a Illusionist cape. Pretty nice item for a Spectre. All those Haunt Illusions now are going to be hitting just that a little bit harder. The lives of the supports on the side of Carrydas just got even worse. Now, both teams are sort of happy just to sit back and farm up these next set of neutral items, as they're all pretty much waiting for their big cooldown ultimates. Brock's up at 38. The double Doom combo is now online as well. So both teams are hindered by those big, long cooldown ultimates, which does sort of limit their teamfight capabilities.
Just what I've been waiting for.
Here's a Ryoka. God damn. Hits like a real heavy truck. Like 491 damage a hit. And he hits fast as hell as well because of the press the attack with the chance of double hitting. Like, if he finds the support is dead.
Scanning for enemies.
Really, any target he finds is a fantastic target. There's no, like, key member on the side of Carrydas that they have to remove at all costs. I mean, maybe if they could find the Grimstroke before he gets his ultimate off, that would just be a huge bonus. Stops the double Doom capabilities as well as the leash mechanic, which should help turn those 5 rounds. But it looks like everyone on the side of AAA making this B move down towards their bottom tier 2. This is just Quack farming it up. The Drag Form gets popped as well from Batsfimi. Quack farming up. Oh, the Lincoln Sphere keeps him alive for now. He's going to Astral Step into the trees. And there he goes to the TP out. Is going to be any sort of detection? They're going to find in the trees, but no one finds it fast enough. And he's actually able to get himself out of there, despite the fact that he had 4 heroes all around him. So nice place from Quack, able to get himself out of danger and just waste a lot of time inside AAA, as well as the fact that that was the Black Dragon used as well. Half the duration left as well. So really, there is the possibility that Carrydas could now go for a counterplay without this big ultimate available on the side of AAA. We'll see if they're going to bother though. The Shiva's also online for Mash. He's actually got the Refresher Orb queued up as his next item. Meanwhile, on the side of Carrydas, he did go for the Skadi in the end. And just completely buys out for it. And that's sort of like the nice thing of a position 1 Vengeful Spirit. is you don't really have to save for a buyback, because obviously your illusion comes out, gives you that second life anyway. So that is your potential for like a counterplay. Without having to sit on like 2,000 odd gold. Well, looks like everyone's like AAA grouped up at the top lane. Are they waiting for a smoke? Does anyone have a smoke? No one has a smoke. Instead, just going to walk it up to Quack. Just hold the wave. Oh, Ken! He able to jump out of there. The hook ends up missing from Ketchup, just hitting onto the creep wave. This is exactly what Carrydas wanted. They're just wasting their time right now. All these failed ganks onto Quack. It's allowing Carrydas to farm up and try and recover a little bit. But I mean, at the same time, it's also more time for Throm to farm up as well. And I suppose at the end of the day, a late game Spectre is always a very horrible thing to play up against.
A bauble from the void.
But still, AAA just always walk around in this 4-man unit. Not splitting up and allowing any sort of potential pick-off from Carrydas. And best way to capitalize on anyone you find as well, to quickly burst them down before any sort of counterplay can come in. Lag on Danny. Poor old Danny. Lagging away. It looks like we might have a little fight coming up here in just a second. As both these two teams could end up running into each other. Obviously, Carrydas know exactly where they are. Not sure how much... Look at this. Warder's only spotted out the LC at the moment. I don't know if it saw anybody else walking into this little vision area. But we'll see if they want to try and take the fight. Obviously, if they're going to do that, they need to be the ones to get the engagement. Soulbind onto the LC and the Warlock, or even the Clockwork would be fantastic. Doing both of them and just take them out of the fight. I guess those are like the primary targets. Let's see what the plan is. Looks like they're actually going for a smoke play, so they want to try and take this fight right now. Looks like yes, Ketchup will be the one they bump into. The swap back there for Carrydas, pulling it back into the rest of the team, and immediately that Clockwork's gone. And now even the Spectral Horn ends up getting used. And to no great effect. That's a big cooldown that also gets used up there for AAA. And now this is a fantastic time for Carrydas to just make a move, push down the tower, go down mid. No Clockwork, no Spectral Horn for 2 minutes, and you have all of your ultimates available to use. They're going to go for an immediate second smoke. Notice they move over towards the enemy triangle area. They are going to bump into Throm Plunder. If he stops the farm up, this is going to be the perfect target. They see him hitting onto the creeps, and immediately the stun start there. The Inks are not even bothered getting used. They're going to swap it back into the rest of the team. The Doom's on top of him as well. There's so much damage that he's gone. The Rocket actually connects to the spawns. The re-engagement, the Jewel gets connected, but it doesn't matter. The Liquid Sphere, it stops it dead in its tracks. Danny still ends up dying to this. The buyback also from the Ancient Bridge. They want to try and return and take this fight. Carrydas, meanwhile, just plowing into Ryoko, forcing him back. And now Odora ends up getting taken out. The CK trying to do as much damage onto Carrydas as much as he can, but it's a Venge. It doesn't even matter if she dies. She's just going to have the illusion. Doesn't even die once. 4 kills. Losing a couple of supports in return, as well as a buyback onto the Ancient Apparition. But even still, fantastic moves there from Carrydas. Finally able to come out on top of one of these engagements. Well, I mean, they've come out on before, but it's been a very long time since they've had a clean victory like that. Unfortunately for them, Roshan's still gone for at least another 30 seconds. Carrydas had to go back to also grab the creep wave because it was all the way by their tower. Ooh, the jump force for Rico as well. Going to try and go for the quick burst here onto Carrydas. We don't have enough damage to kill him, but immediately the illusion's there. They're going to try and go for the counterplay. Rico has to pop the Minotaur Horn to try and keep himself alive. The buyback also from the Warlock. Rico gets so damn low. But the jump force have a Quack. They get the finish. Lots of buybacks as well coming out from AAA. All Carrydas need to do is disengage right now, and this is fantastic trade. Carrydas is still charging in. He just wants to use this illusion as some sort of bait. He doesn't really like keeping it alive for some reason. But even still, actually, they're not even going to bother focus onto it. They allow it just to fall back. And they will just take down the tier 2 tower in return. The glyph is there to keep it alive for now, but I imagine they'll probably just make sure they take the objective before they completely fall back.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The tier 2 does fall.
Has fallen.
And it's actually the Satanic queued up as well, was Carrydas' next item. But now, of course, as soon as this LC's up, the Carrydas squad, they've got to be careful because the big team fight capabilities of AAA will be back online. Horn will be up. They got their Rock will also be up as well. So every chance for them to turn and fight. But I mean, at the same time, their own team fight will be back online as well. They got the double doom capabilities themselves. And looks like they might just carry on pushing down this top lane. They focus onto the tier 2. But still, it doesn't look like AAA are really bothered about defending it. They're just going to hold their own high ground and allow all these exterior towers to fall. So, and already, that big net worth swing back into the favor of Carrydas, 8k gold lead. They will actually use the glyph to hold this back for now. And they are actually coming up a little bit closer to here, so maybe they want to try and defend this. The initiation here from Yes Ketchup onto the eventual server. Immediately the re-engage there because the Earthmaster top. The Clockwork's dead. Matrix gets taken on the backline to loads of chaos damage. The Doom gets taken out before he can go for like the double Doom. Everybody's dropping here on the side of Carrydas. It's complete chaos for him. Quack also taking a bit of damage. He's actually going to stick around here to try and do some damage himself. The illusion from Remalded just plowing into the LC. Takes down Ryoka. Now he's going to focus onto the Spectre. The Inkswell, it does get the Sun Connection. They carry on chasing forwards. They want to try and get this kill onto the Spectre. They have to settle for the Doros. The Glimmer Cape gave him space for the Spectre to try and get himself out. Ketchup also going to try and side his life away to give him space. Meanwhile, Batsfimi was in the backlines, finishing off Danny. But still, Radidas, he wants to try and find something else. He's not going to get it though. His illusion will just end up dying. So it ends up being a successful fight there for AAA, killing 4 and only losing the LC, I believe. Did I miss the fight recap? The fight was still going on. Damn you, Gaben. Make that fight recap last longer. But immediately, it looks like they're going to pin out the Roshan here for AAA. They want to try and take this objective while all the main cores on the side of Carrydas are dead. And he's dropping pretty quickly. Already down to half HP. Aegis, Cheese, and Aghanim Shard. Who are they going to get the shard over to? Batsfimi? Maybe From Plunder? Could be quite interesting. They put the Aegis into the hands of Batsfimi, and the shard is in the back pocket there of Throm Plunder. He's not putting it in though to use it, so maybe they're holding it for the LC. Does the LC not have it yet? The LC has us. Okay, they give it over to the Clockwork. That's a jetpack, right? Okay. So jetpack's always an interesting one. Gives you that sort of like flying movement. Allows you to grant some extra vision and set up some easy hooks. Well, he's still not using it. He's like, you sure, guys? You sure? Okay, yeah, okay, use it.
Almighty money.
Now Carrydas has his Satanic available. Did he have that in the previous fight? I don't think he did. But even so, these right clicks from this Venge, so goddamn potent. Like 380 odd damage. With obviously the 2 lives, but there's a few members of AAA up on the high ground here. Carrydas with the 6th sense knows just to Shadow Blade himself out there. Doesn't want to linger in this area too long and potentially just feed away another kill. They're all grouped up in their triangle, but no smoke's actually available right now. They're having to buy one and bring it out on the courier. You've got to be cautious, because every single member of AAA are also down the bot lane. The flare? Where did the flare go? Well, the flare actually went over towards the triangle. The creep camp. It doesn't end up spotting anybody, really. So it looks like AAA want to try and take some sort of engagement themselves. I think both teams have like an inkling where they are. Nice rocket flare there from the Clockwork. Scouts out pretty much the entirety of Carrydas. They know exactly what's going on in the Spectral Hall. The Reader jump in there. The Soulbind comes out there, but only connects onto Illusion. The Doom as well onto the BKB of the Dragon Knight. The rockets drop. All the elements get dropped there. Matrix Fall. The Wheelstone is dropping in down. Carrydas trying to do as much damage as the backlines can, but he's stuck in these cogs. He can't do much moves. Smash also taking a lot of damage. He's trying to run around. The Inkshot does huge amount of damage and heals him off a huge chunk. First life for DK is gone, but he will come back into this. Obviously, he's not going to have the Dragon Form anymore, so it's not going to be that much damage. Meanwhile, Mash, he's still up getting a triple kill. And Carrydas didn't even end up dying. He's managed to disengage. Fantastic fight there from Carrydas, taking 4 kills effectively and only losing the Ancient Apparition in return. Absolutely madness fight for them. And that was as well onto like the double doom, which was onto a BKB Dragon Knight and an illusion. So they didn't even really get their combo off that effectively. But it turns out they didn't even need it. It didn't need it whatsoever. So Quack does actually have enough money as well just to buy a Scythe of Vice as well. So just going to have a little bit of further lockdown for the next coming engagement. And that's always all like the feels bad man thing about having a Aegis in the hands of a DK is that you come back alive, but you got no dragon form. And that is obviously the main point that makes a DK so damn potent in team fights. You take that away from him, and he's just sort of like a big creep. Also building into a Daedalus, which is quite interesting. I guess I thought maybe you'd build it like an AC, but like I thought the L2 is the Legion Commander building the AC. Is no one building AC? Okay. Well, maybe, yeah, one of those two would build the AC, either the Dragon Knight or the Legion Commander, but neither one is. Both of them are going to go in for their own sort of like personal utility items, but even still, Carrydas up on the high ground right now, beating into this mid-tier 3. And still, like, another 20 seconds at least before the supports on the side of AAA are able to come back alive and help defend. Oh, Carrydas' right clicks just hurt so goddamn much. These buildings do not last long whatsoever. They probably would have decided to disengage after taking down this objective. Don't want to risk it for more, seeing as all the supports are back online now. And even when the Warlock respawns, he's immediately got that Rock back online as well. So at long last, Carrydas able to actually take some returned objectives and start bringing this sort of like map equilibrium back into their favor. And actually just keep on furthering the net worth lead as well. Now 17,000 in their favor. The net worth between the Venge as well as the Spectre is pretty much neck and neck. And it looks like Thron is working towards the Abyssal Blade. He does have enough money to buy it out and still have buyback as well. So he will be getting that pretty damn soon. I imagine as soon as he's finished up killing these couple of creep waves, then he will. Carrydas is going to upgrade his Dragon Lance into a Hurricane Pike, because that's pretty much the only other thing he can do now that he's 6-slotted. I mean, eventually he can obviously turn this act into an Aghanim's Blessing and then fill up that slot with something else. Probably another like sort of right-click item. Maybe he might just go for a Daedalus, which would make a lot of sense. Obviously, all this hero wants to do is to stand there and right-click people. So why not get one of the most effective right-click items in the game? How does Divine Rapier actually work with Avenge, with the illusion? Like, does the real one drop the Divine Rapier still, and then it's just on the floor and the illusion can't pick it up, or what? Or because it's a special illusion, it holds onto it until you kill the illusion? I'm not actually sure, to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen that interaction. I don't think I've ever seen Avenge buy a Divine Rapier. Maybe I'll have to go into like a practice game later on and do a little bit of a little personal research. Even still, all the lanes now pushing in for Carrydas, and looks like they're going to start focusing on to this bottom tier 3 as their next main objective. And we do actually have a wave pushing in at the top. But even still, just this low ground siege here for Carrydas. These right clicks just melt away this tower. And it's so far away as well that it's very difficult for AAA to try and engage. I'm actually going to pop the Dragon Form here from Black Svimi. Even still, it's not much they can really do. Just forcing them back for now. And it looks like Carrydas might just end up falling all the way back. And actually, no, they're going to stay around here just to kill the illusion onto Thron Plunder. And actually, Drop Force Afrioka tries to go for the duel there onto there, but there's no swap there back from Carrydas. Brings his dude back into safety, allows him to get the Doom. It doesn't even matter if he dies. It's a fantastic target. And meanwhile, Thron Plunder's in the backlines, kills the Ancient Apparition. The first swipe of the Vengeful Spirit will go down, but he takes Ryoka with him. And now the Doom comes out there from Mash. Even going to pop the Refresher Shard, finds the other target of the Spectre. The two main targets have been found. Batsfield just held in place. He can't go anywhere. He's going to end up dying here. And now the Spectre's going to drop his sword. Tries to stand the grab. They're gone. Gone for 100. No buyback. The Clockwork also getting picked up at Tora as well. The right legs hurt so damn much. The detection's there. They find him. Meanwhile, on the backlines, Ryoka's trying to find the kill onto Mash. He's going to turn around and hit the right clicks with the flicker. He gets him out of there. He's going to counter try and run away, but he keeps getting slowed up by Matrix. So he's not going to be able to get close enough. Mash actually jumping in forwards, another flick off to the side. They take him down. A dieback from the Leech Commander. Battery jumping in. But the breath, it even misses. And now he's completely gone. That's a dieback for him. And that's it. That's just it. AAA have nothing left in the tank. Everybody is gone. No buyback. It's just the Warlock without an ultimate. What can the poor man do? And GG is called from AAA. And that is Carrydas Remalded being your Division 3 of the Clarity League Grand Champions. Taking this series in a pretty clean 2-0. That game was looking like it was in AAA's favour for a huge amount of time. But just a couple of fights finally went in Carrydas' way, and then just the momentum completely swung in their favour. And that's when the position 1 of the Venge actually came into its fruition and started doing a huge amount of damage and allowed them to actually end up taking the series. But damn, I was not expected to be that. I wasn't expected to be that clean of a victory for him in the end. I thought it might be able to push on to a game 3 there, but unfortunately, just a couple of missteps there from AAA. Ends up losing it, even with the positive kill count, just not enough to actually keep in that. But even still, very, very well played there to Carrydas Remalded. Much deserved victory. A lot of teams probably would have just got demoralised by the way they just kept getting kill after kill from the side of AAA, especially with Ryoka. Had plus how much dual damage did he have? He had plus 280 dual damage. This man was hitting like an absolute truck, but just wasn't enough to actually bring that game back into their favour. Just so much utility coming out from the side of Carrydas. Even the supports were just chucking stuff everywhere. They had 2 Scythes of Vice. I mean, the AA didn't really have much, but hey, it's position 5 AA, so you can't expect them to have the best farm in the world. But even still, the POS 1 Vengeful Spirit actually ends up working. So, can't go wrong.